Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're doing something a little bit different. I've got kind of a different setup for today. This is actually just going to be a really chill, a really casual video. I just decided to do this so last minute. Ignore the lawnmower in the background. I literally just turned on the camera and somebody decided to start mowing the lawn. Why? For today's video, I'm going to be showing you what I pack when I travel. This is going to be like my essentials that I have to take with me when I travel, but also kind of like an effective way. It's a lot of product, don't get me wrong. As I've said many times before, I am a high maintenance biatch and I do use a lot of products on a regular basis, but I've kind of simplified it to a more easy, a more hassle-free kind of way. I totally used to be the type of person that took everything with them when they traveled. Like I had to take like 3 eyeshadow palettes, I had to take like all my glitters with me, 50 different liquid lipsticks, 75 different glosses. I was just that girl. I actually went on a little weekend trip with my husband over the weekend. Us and some of our friends took a little weekend trip to Louisiana. We went to go do some gambling for my husband's birthday, and when I was packing my stuff, I was like, you know what? I want to do a video on this, so we gonna do a video. We're just here in my bedroom. This is right in front of my vanity, so I'm sorry if the lighting is really crappy because I have the shittiest lighting in my room ever. I have 3 lights right now. Hopefully I'm not too bright. I'm looking a little bright and a little washed out, but we're just gonna go ahead and go with it. It's just for one video, right? So let me just talk about some of the things that I like to use when I pack. So this is like my favorite thing of all time. My friend got me this. I think it was a birthday gift or it was a gift for some occasion. I can't remember what it was for, but it's this really nice travel friendly bag. You can see it's very dirty because this is the only thing that I use when I travel. It is from Kenneth Cole. I believe you can get Kenneth Cole at like Marshall's and TJ Maxx, and they're much more affordable than buying them in stores. Definitely check out those stores first, especially for like travel stuff. I always buy my suitcases and like things like this, like for my makeup and makeup bags and organizers. I always check out Marshall's, Home Goods, or TJ Maxx, and I'm pretty sure this is from Marshall's. I'm almost 100% sure. This was probably like around $10–15. Definitely very affordable, especially because I get so much use out of this, and this is just like my lifeline. I use it for weekend trips, bigger trips, anytime I'm traveling. Sometimes if I'm even freelancing and I have multiple clients and I just need more space, I'll pack some stuff in here. So I absolutely love this thing, and you don't have to get this brand. They have a million other brands. They have these at Target, Walmart, anywhere you can imagine. These are just such a lifesaver. So I actually just use this for my whole entire like makeup, all the makeup that I'm gonna bring with me. I just stick it right in here. So hopefully you can kind of see my setup. I have this acrylic organizer right here. This is on top of my vanity. This is all top shelf, things that I use every single day, things that I cannot do my makeup without using. I keep all the stuff that I use on a regular basis in this little acrylic organizer right here. So what I do when I start packing my stuff is I pretty much go in the order of face. So the first thing that I do when I do my makeup before I even start is put on moisturizer. So I actually don't pack my skincare in this bag. I pack it in a smaller bag like this. This is actually what I use for my brushes, and we'll get onto this, but I pack it in like another little smaller bag. I have a ton of them, so I just use a completely separate bag for all my skincare, but that is the first thing that I do. I grab my moisturizer, I'll grab my eye cream. These are the 2 that I'm using right now, and then I grab my facial spray because I don't want to forget this, even though I use it at the end. This is definitely more on the skincare side. These 3 I always stick together. I'm just gonna put them off to the side. It just helps keep things a little more organized for me, and I'm kind of not digging through this because this is a little bit bigger and it can get a little hectic and a little cluttered. So I like to put all my skincare just together off on their own. Also, I want to just share this tip with you guys. If you do a lot of online shopping, or you have points from Sephora, or like just in online purchases in general, I get these samples all the time, and I just honestly keep them on top of my vanity. Number one, because these are things I want to try, but the main reason that I love to keep these is because I love taking these when I travel. So right now I have a moisturizer. I actually took this with me on my trip over the weekend. So this is just a random sample that I got. I have some primer ones, and this is what I take when I travel. If I have them, I don't have them all the time. If I don't already use them before I'm traveling, I will take those with me on my trip, and that way it's less room in my bag. I have to take less products with me, which is great because I don't have to pack as many things. I don't have to deal with as much crap, basically. But if that's not the case, I love these little samples. My sister honestly makes fun of me all the time because I have so many of these little samples. I have this one from Mercier, this one from Smashbox, I have this one from Makeup Forever, but I love them because they're so small and they're honestly perfect for travel. So the ones that I took for this past trip were the Mercier one. This is a nice hydrating one, and then the Makeup Forever smoothing one, and that one is good to hide texture and pores and stuff like that. So I've got my 2 baby primers. I'll just pick one side to stick like my face stuff in. I'm gonna throw those in right there, and we're done with primers. Next, I do foundation. So the 2 that I'm currently using, like I said, I'm very high maintenance. You totally don't have to do this, but this is my foundation concoction of choice. I'm loving the Mercier and the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation, so I'll take those 2. Next, we move on to concealer. I take my Shape Tape, and then from there, I go in and powder. You guys know, because I use in a lot of my videos, the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I love this powder, but the packaging is really bulky, so instead of taking that with me, I'm just going to take a compact. This is the Cover FX blotting powder. It's just a regular compact powder. It's nice and sleek. I'm just going to throw that right in there just so I don't have to deal with the bulkiness of the Maybelline packaging. I'm going to go in and take my bronzer. The Butter Bronzer is what I'm using right now and what I'm loving, and then I'm going to go in with my baking powder, the Kat Von D one that I always use, that I literally cannot live without. For my highlighter, I'm just going to take one of my favorite ones at the moment, which is the Dose of Colors and Katie Desi one. This is the shade Fuego, and this is like one of my go-tos ever since I got it. And there's my highlighter. I'm just gonna throw that in there and zip this guy up, and you can see this thing is pretty roomy. This is almost my entire face. For everything else, I have my Z palette. I mentioned this in my Z palette video. I love having these Z palettes for travel. That is my favorite thing about the Z palettes. So this is my face one. I went over all of this in my Z palette video. If you guys are interested, you can totally check that out. Hopefully I remember. If I do, I'll link it below. If not, you can see it on my channel. I did it just I think like a month or 2 ago, so it's fairly recent. But I have my under eye setting powders. I always use Emphasize, and then one of these like more yellow tone ones. I have my contours, and then I have 2 blushes. This is one of my favorite shimmer blushes by NYX, and then one of my favorite matte blushes by Ofra. So I'll just take this palette with me, and this is my contour, my blush, and my highlighting powder. So I'm done with that. I don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm just gonna set this right here. Next thing that I do is move on to eyes, brows, and stuff that I need to complete the rest of my face. So I'm gonna take my Dipbrow from Anastasia. This is pretty much the only brow product that I'll use. I'll take my mascara because we need mascara. This is the Benefit Roller Lash. And then I'll take a lash glue, and I take my Duraline because I literally need this for any cream product. I can't go without this. I know this is like something totally extra, but I have to have this. My paint pot from MAC, this is the Soft Ochre. I make sure to grab some lashes, and the ones that I'm really into right now are the Koko Lashes Girl About Town. I know this is really bright, you probably can't see that, but these are the ones that I actually took with me on my trip, so I'm just gonna put all this stuff right here. Typically when I go out of town, I don't really try to fuss with wing liner or gel liner just because, I don't know, I have to be like real up close to my mirror, and I just need like the right setting. Like I've got to have the lighting right, and sometimes gel and wing liner and liquid liner is just a pain in the ass, and I just don't want to deal with it. So to line my lash line, if I need to hide my lash band, which I typically do, I'll just go in with a black shadow, and that is perfect for me. I typically don't even bring a liquid liner or a gel liner at all because I just can do my makeup without it. So I'm going to throw these things, tighten that, I just used it. I'm going to throw these things in here, and that is pretty much it. So I've just got like my little extra things that I like to take with me. I've got my entire face, and all I need to do is move on to eyes. So what I like to do when I'm traveling is I like to plan out the eyeshadow look that I'm gonna do. I'm not really one where I am just kind of like a lash and face girl. I actually really like to do eyeshadow. I'm more comfortable in eyeshadow. I feel prettier when I have eyeshadow on. So I always take an eyeshadow palette with me or some sort of something to put on my eyes just because that's what I like to do. If I'm going out of town for a night, if I'm going for a weekend, if I'm going for a week, if I'm going for 2 weeks, I will always just take one eyeshadow palette. What I did for this past weekend, I kind of had a vision in mind. This is actually the makeup that I did when I was out of town. I wanted to do it today because I didn't get to take any pictures of it. I took my Huda Beauty palette, and I don't know why, I was just really feeling the oranges. I was into those like really orangey warm tones, and then that's what I keep this open space down here for. I'll put my eyeshadow palette down here. Sometimes I'll add like one more thing on there depending on how long I'm going to be out of town for. It might be one of the Magnificent Metals. It might be like a pigment like this. This is Naked from MAC. This is one of my favorite pigments to go in with. It's like an everyday color. That was just totally like an extra step I just decided to do, but you can totally do an entire eye look with the palette just by itself. I just go into my eyeshadow palette, my Z palette one, and I take Nylon with me everywhere because I can't live without this shade, and I will throw it in there, and then I don't have to take a whole nother palette that I'm not going to use. To be 100% honest, I usually just take this palette with me because this has everything that I need and I can do an entire look with this palette. But like I said, I was just kind of feeling the warm orangey shade, so I just decided to go with the Huda Beauty one. I am pretty much done. We just have to do lips. What I took with me over the weekend was Lolita. That's by Kat Von D, one of my favorite liquid lipsticks. And I also took MAC Blankety with me. This is one of my favorite combinations to do, is Lolita Liquid Lip and MAC Blankety. I love that combination. I usually just leave those two by themselves. I don't put a gloss over it, but I do take a gloss with me just in case because you never know. I'll always take just like a nude, any type of nude gloss. I'm not really picky. I just take whatever I see first. And usually it's like the Maybelline Tease, or I really like Magic Wand by ColourPop. It's just like a pinky nude brown gloss. I'll only take one. Those are just kind of like options that I'll give you guys. I'm just going to take the three that I mentioned and throw them in here at the bottom. Then I just zip this sucker up. This is like my entire face. Next, let's just move on to tools. And what I use to pack up my tools is this little thing. This is another one of those little random organizers. I'm pretty sure this was in a set, and I actually got this for, I think, my 21st birthday, which is so crazy because I've had this for many years, and this is just perfect for all of my brushes. I don't separate my face and my eye brushes. Honestly, I don't have time for that, and I don't want to carry that many bags, so I throw all my brushes in here. I love the shape of it. I just zip it up and I'm good to go. So when I'm packing my brushes, I always start with eyes because I always do my eyes first when I do my makeup. The first thing that I'm going to grab is my brow brush. I'll take my Sigma blending brush that I can't live without. What I've been loving lately is this brush right here from Luxie. I got this in my Ipsy bag. This is the 249 brush, and this is perfect because it's a smaller blending brush. Pretty much is going to replace my Sigma E25 brush, so I can use this to define the crease a little bit more, but what's great about it is it has a lid brush on the other end of it. So that's two brushes in one. I'll just throw that in there. And then I'll take this little brush. This is a more defining crease brush if I want something a little more dramatic. I mentioned this in a video a couple videos back. This is a Morphe M514. I use this to really get color right there in the crease. I'm just gonna throw it in there because it can't hurt, right? And then I'm gonna take this. This is a random no-name brush. This is what I always use to set my eyeshadow primer. I will take my inner corner and my brow bone brush. These are both from EcoTools. I use them in every single video almost. And then I take my lower lash line brushes, my two that I love from Morphe that I use in all my videos. And actually I think that's it for lid brushes. Yeah, that's it. I don't take all my blending brushes, even though I may use more. Like I said, I'm traveling, so I'm just trying to keep things simple. We're not going in and doing anything too crazy. And then while I'm actually here, I'll just grab my tweezers. These are like an old pair of Revlon tweezers. They're really dull, and these are the ones that I always use for my lashes. I'm not even gonna take scissors for my lashes because I always take a pair of lashes that are already cut and fit to my eye. That way I don't even have to take scissors with me, so I'm not even gonna worry about that. And then all I have to do is face. And I have my sponge. I use this for my foundation, my concealer, and my setting powder. So this is like 3 tools in one. I'm just gonna throw that in there. And then I'll take my powder brush. This is what I use to set my powder from Sonia Kashuk. My bronzer brush. This is another Sonia Kashuk brush. I don't know what its name is exactly, but I got this in a set. That's my bronzer, one of my bronzer brushes that I like. I'll take my e.l.f. blush brush. This is what I use sometimes to set my concealer initially before I go in and bake. And then I will take my highlighting brush. This is a Morphe one that I'm using right now. And I'll take my blush brush, and then I'll take my contour brush. This is all the stuff that I take with me, all my makeup, and yeah, like I said, I know it's a lot of shit, but this is what I use on a everyday basis, on a regular basis, so naturally I'm gonna take all that stuff with me when I travel. I just take a little bit less, if you catch my drift. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think in the comments below, of course. Let me know what else you want to see, and just make sure that you are subscribed before you go. I think that's all I have to say. I'm pretty sure that's it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.